Generic greetings and welcome back to Prison Architect. For a start, I should really put some lights in and around here. It is a fairly dark place, not just in terms of mood because it is after all a morgue, but also it is just not late. We have a little bit of a problem with the solitary, as in we don't have enough. You can see there's 44 awaiting solitary. I know when I did this here, there was some criticism that we wouldn't need all of it, and I think that actually, if that should be used more than it is, because this is obviously the high risk stuff. But we also have, to be fair, a lot of armed guards suppressing them. But the main kickoff was around here, and as you can see, there's a lot of people just hanging around in solitude. Not like hanging around for fun or anything. Just they've been ordered there because of then booting off. We'll go to informants here. We've got some potential CIs, so what we'll do is we'll recruit all informants that we can. Not because we want more informants, but more because we just want them out here, so we can, utilise the space in a much more efficient way. And what is going on there? That was someone using the toilet and then pushed the other person out of bed. I'm guessing they're swapping cells. We do have a capacity problem. You can see there's a couple of people locked in the cells. Originally, they were moved up to here because of an issue with the designations, as in the game removed it. But hey-ho. Anyway, in this episode, in terms of construction, we want to get the security room done and all of these cells. So let's crack on with that. It shouldn't be quite a difficult task, really, to get this security up and running. We're going to have not much going on, but we'll see what we can do. We need a filing cabinet in the corners, and that's not the right button. We'll do that. That's that all sorted. And what I'll do is I'll make one cell, and then I'll just clone it all the way along. So that should be fine. In terms of money, we've got more than enough, so that's great. What I do want to do, however, is go over to our programs, and we'll go down right to the bottom, and we'll get guard taser certification, and we'll start that off just now. Because obviously we have hired some more guards, we've lost some guards, so yeah, we need that one. In terms of this area, we do need to place in some jail doors. I also want to get, while I'm here, go into our utilities and to the door servo and get some door servos put in here. I think it's going to be a worthy addition, that's all. Have I put the door servos on the same side? Indeed I have. I know there's been some people may say we could, if we wanted to, put these doors on this side instead, and that would probably be better, and I agree, it probably would be better. The problem is trying to alter that, which, altering at this point, I don't know. Don't want to start shifting doors and all of the metal detectors. The problem with moving them down here is that stuff may be able to be flung in from the yard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So no, stuff shouldn't be able to be flung in. So it might be worth it moving these back over to there. It's just if it kicks off, the water's going to come around here, and that could be a problem. We could also put some extra drains around here, but I'm not sure. Anyway, so you can see gang members now are doing their typical gang stuff. They're trying to take over the common room while it's getting cleaned. Not really a typical scenario of the cleaning bit, but yes, I'm trying to take this whole thing over, which it's now done. They'll probably want to take the yard back if they haven't already. They haven't actually taken the yard, which is interesting. I'm guessing there is no call for it because there's nothing they want, because it's just a yard with no weights benches in. They don't really care too much about that. So there we go. There is a OD, but looks like that is getting resolved straight away. So that's fine. There's no one in this kitchen, which is of concern. Anyway, so it looks like most of the door servos are in. Let's just go over to utilities connections, and we'll activate lag mode, and we'll just see where the connections are. So the connections for the top two, I believe, are that one, are they? Yes, the bottom two. Alright, so the bottom one connects it does the lower risk, and it does the administrative block. So we're gonna connect this to the death row one, because that's probably the one with the least load on it. So that should be completed. We haven't got any automatic door openers around here, and I don't know if I want them. I think we will. I think we will place them just for really peace of mind. This should now be resolved if we do that. And they should close and open automatically. Which they are, which is fine. There's still the whole thing of do we want visitation here? I have not got it. And also, I was originally going to change the visitation in the high-risk area to the closed one. If we go to objects and type in visitor, we can see there's a visitor table and a visitor booth. And the booth we'll maybe put there. That was the plan, but I just haven't bothered. Let's just go over to our prisoner intake, and we can see we've still got no death row. I'm just gonna max it out. I don't think it'll matter in the slightest, but we might as well do that. We'll back over to utilities once more. Activate low FPS mode. Seems to be okay there, and then when you zoom into that, say whoops, no. 1 and then 2. That's all of the servos now connected up, I believe. So we should be able just to set them to. Oh, they're on trigger. That was the wrong one. That one and large jail door lock open. So that should be now sorted. Yes, it is. Okay. So we now have all of the lighting. Do we have lighting in here? We do have lighting. Yeah. I mean, there are lights there. It's just very difficult to see at that zoom level. So we need to do these cells. So these cells are going to be our death row. So death row, they don't come out of the cells, and not because of that, but as they don't come out of the cells, it doesn't really matter too much what we do with the internals, because it's always going to be something that we place there, so we don't really need to worry about the grading or anything. I have sort of messed it up a little bit because I've placed the shower heads, the toilet. I keep on pressing that button instead of R. I'm pressing E, which is E is zoom out. There we go. I think E and Q are zoom in. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I've placed these shower heads in the mainly the toilet on the far left, which means it's technically close to this edge, but it's much of a muchness really. I'm not gonna fret over it. So we want things like office desks in here, and if I'm gonna eventually get used to pressing that button, we'll have that there and that there, and it's kicking off again somewhere. We'll put some televisions in just in front of the bed there. We'll have a radio. Have a chair. And a bookshelf. And that should be all of the grading. It looks like we've got some... yeah. Usual suspects. That time of the day again. If this was going to be a film series, it would be The Purge. And if it was going to be the number, it would be on about... well, it would be the 90th film. No, I think this... all this thing here has only really started when we got the gangs in, probably around day 30, 40, I think it might have been, something like that. So I'm going to do a shakedown, because I think it'll be decent to do so. Mailroom is still functioning. You can see we have got some... well, we did have some mail. There, we do have some mail. Look, see, mail opened. So it is still delivering mail. I don't know if it's delivering it to everywhere, but we have still got some mail there. Another 26 hours until we can place more stuff in the yard, so let's just wait for that to be sorted. I do need to get... Why is that person in there? Because they didn't die from a shotgun blast, that's why. Right, okay, so we'll do the shakedown, and we'll crack on with this one. Obviously, there's a lot of workers here, but they are now able to get into these cells. I haven't placed a door on them, and I could probably go ahead and do so. It should be fine. These cells should be opening and closing on their own now. Unless there's going to be a lockdown, you see. But by default, the cells should be fine. That door servo is not functioning. Oh, it looks like someone is not staffing the... is not staffing, sadly, the door control system. I'm expecting a tunnel. I am expecting a tunnel. And probably in dormitory as well. In terms of need to escape, what we on? Strange that we don't really look at the needs too much these days. The need for freedom is actually quite low. Normally, if there's a lot of violence in the prison, there's a bit of a tunnel. It's only a tiny one, though. Normally, if there's a lot of violence in the prison, especially when there's deaths in the prison, which there is regularly, it's really a daily occurrence in this place, sadly. It's something that they want to escape, and they'll, you know, have a higher sort of drive to tunnel out and escape out. Haven't yet seen any blitz attempts. Actually, we have, but only after the tunnel's been discovered. Once the tunnel's discovered, they start legging it out. So we're finding a lot of stuff. 6 set of keys, which is interesting. I wonder where they've come from. Let's look past 24 hours and see if we can find them keys. Can't see the keys in 24 hours, so we'll go to 7 days. And there's batons and other things like that and whatnot. And whoa, look at all them keys there. Smuggled in by prisoner. Smuggled in. Look at all that. That has to be a glitch. Every single one of those is keys. Keys, 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 keys. See that? They're all keys. Do you know what it reminds me of? If you ever win solitaire on Windows and the go boing 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 and the cards bounce off. That's what that reminds me of. That's a lot of key. It currently says 6 sets of jail keys. I think that's a bit of an understatement. Apparently we incarcerated a locksmith. Anyway, so it looks like this cell is sort of done, and it hasn't changed it from death row. That's a good thing. It's also totally against the grain. Normally it does, but not going to argue. So what I'll do is I'll place all of the plumbing, like so. And that should be us sorted. Wait for that to be done. I'm just going to stop the shakedown there. That's more than enough for us. We're also going to go over to concrete flooring, and we're going to place the concrete floor in this little bit here because, well, we had to remove it, or rather it was removed because of the tunnel. We do have some potential confidential informants. They already are a confidential informant. That's fine. There's an ex-law enforcement there as well. So, Paul Brindley, you are now in protective custody. And yes, we do have capacity for that as well, which is fine. That's fine. We do have, as you can see, some unknown traits. One there. I believe there is one. There was one elsewhere as well. We don't need to activate our confidential informants. That's why we haven't done it for a long time. It's just because, well, what we're going to find out. There's only that one, really, that we have any chance of doing. I mean, we could do it, couldn't we? Could activate them, just see what we can see. What we'll do. This person's got a 94% coverage. So let's see if we find anything. So we've got 3 unknown traits here. Let's see if they sing like a canary and we find out what they are. So they're en route because they're heading up there for some reason. And yes, there we go. So it has actually bore fruit, that one. We've got a snitch, ex-law enforcement, and both of. So protective custody. Protective custody. And protective custody. Oh, it's Hacker Man? Oh, right, okay. They're going to hack time and go back to the Viking Age. That was a really good film. Kung Fury, if you're wondering. Freeable to watch on Steam and YouTube, I believe, actually. I haven't seen it in a while, though. Right, let's go over to quick build, clone, and we're going to clone this. Actually, before we do that, we want to say intelligence, not intelligence, room quality. It is a room quality 9. We could make it 10 if we put an outside window, and that is very possible. It's not something we're going to do, but it is something that we are able to do. So there is our cells all cloned. Bit of money, as you can see, but it doesn't much matter. You can see our death row capacity is now 2, which means that we now have the potential to start receiving some death row inmates. Not that we probably will get death row inmates, but there you are. So we're still filling to capacity, and it might be worth it if we do say let's take some of those in. What we'll do is we'll say total prisoners. We'll say number per day 20, and we'll max out that and probably go. See, it's not gonna. Is it gonna automatically work that out? It's really not, is it? No, it's not. So I want it more like that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. And we have 30, 40. That's fine. That's about right. That is about right. I will increase the minsec just a tad, same as for that one there. And how much for that one? Oh, we actually have too much normal security, so let's reduce that to about there. That should be fine. Total is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we've got the rest of that. Yes, we should be okay. And we'll probably there'll probably be some losses throughout the day anyway with this stuff. Right, so we have most of this stuff pretty much sorted. What I'm going to do is go to deployment and guard patrols. And start setting up some patrols. So in the canteen, in the other places, we typically have an armed guard. We have the same in the yard, which I'm very hesitant to place all of these because, quite frankly, I don't know how much of this we will use, and it's having a lot of armed guards stationed around here is not going to be great. But let's just see where we can get to. So there's all those 3 there. That should be about right. We do want a standard guard patrol in and around there as well. I think in each one, yes there is. And we also want some dog patrols in, well, we'll have it the same area as well, so there and there. What I am going to do though is I'm going to double this up so they can get past each other, because normally if they're not doubled up they will just hit and they'll like they won't do a full patrol. So there's all that set up, and that should be about right. We do need a guard in parole. We will need one in that one there, and that's the preliminary one there. In fact, you know what I will do? I'll go for dog patrol. I'll remove that dog patrol there, but I will place it in here, which is the corridor, because that's pretty much where we've got the other one as well. So that's fine. What I am going to do as well is go over to objects, go right down to the armory, and the guard lockers will be extended up to there and then along to there, because we do need some more armed guards, I believe. Having some more armed guards would be of benefit, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4 dogs, and we will then go to armed guards. 1, 2, 3. I hired already the maximum, it says there. Not strictly the case. God, look at that, you can see that's a lot of guards. A lot of guards. There's 16 there, so we've increased it a little bit. Enough for what we've ordered, and a bit extra. So there's that sorted, I think. I think that's okay. That's fine. Needs it done. We've done a shakedown. Not going to do another one. Intake is sorted there. Yeah, and death row is open. So hopefully we can start receiving some death row inmates. Obviously there's this like cells to be placed and such. Just triple checking the deployment there, which it is now set up. We can, if we want to, set a program here. If we go all the way to the bottom, we've now got a death row appeal. 0 in queue. There's no point in doing that anyway. We have behavioural therapy, but it's the same sort of thing. Where we just don't have any, well, we have called for it, but I don't know how effective it would be. One could argue that we'll never find out if we don't use it, and maybe it would help some of the prisoners. Hopefully that will be some reform, but, you know, don't really know. So, I'm going to go over to objects and to a weights bench, and actually, no, I'll wait for the next episode of that, because that's going to take a little bit of time, and I'm having to shorten these down just because of time and real life and such, and that sort of thing. But anyway, yeah, we'll leave it there then. Next episode, we'll go ahead and we'll receive a lot of prisoners, and hopefully that'll open up some death row as well, now that we've got all this sorted. We don't have the execution facility, so we'll have to build that as well, but the majority of this is pretty much sorted. Actually, that may be why we're not receiving any prisoners. So what we'll do is we'll place an electric chair in there, and then we'll place a big row of chairs like this. Not that you need all of these chairs, but it just looks quite good. And there we go. So that is the Execution done. The mayor's calling, so the media have stopped shouting about the weights benches. So next episode, we can go ahead and put those in. As always, hope you have enjoyed the video. Comments in the comments. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.